So the thing that I do when I'm installing an invisible zipper is first I sew the seam up as it should go. So this seam required a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, and so from the hem all the way up till about here, I think you can see the little tiny notches, I think it was like right here, is where I did a regular stitch, and then I back stitched a couple times, so I went back and forth a couple times in this area to reinforce it, and then from this area all the way up I sewed with the largest stitch, which was a 5.0 centimeter stitch length. So regular stitching, reinforce it where it needs to be, and then pretty much a loose stitch all the way up to the top. So after you stitch this up, you're going to take your invisible zipper face down, because whenever you want to open the zipper, you want it to be face up. So face down, you want to center the zipper teeth on the center of that seam and pin it, and then using your basting thread, you want to baste this zipper into place. And I leave the pins in for now until I can get my thread in place, and then once the thread is in place, I will go back and take the pins out. I can take this one out now, and I can take this one. Some I don't want to take out because I want to keep it pinned on that other side. Now I pulled it and I straightened it up. Now it's very important that you want to keep this area straight, because when you take your zipper apart, when you or the person zips their dress up, you want to make sure that that waist seam is in the same spot so that it's not wonky. So I'm just going to go back. I'm going to do a back stitch, which means I'm going to where the thread came out, I'm going to go back in between before that area, so in between where the stitch went in and came out, I'm going back to that center and I'm going to do another stitch. And that is just me really enforcing that area, because I really don't want any shifting to go on in that area. Do not want to go through your dress. I'm only going through the seam allowance here, all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm going to turn my dress around, and I'm going to go, as I go up the other side, I am going to take the pins out because I do not need them anymore. So I've basted my zipper all the way up. I'm now checking to make sure that I did not go through the dress at all, and I haven't. So now I'm going to take my dress right side out, and then from the top I am going to undo those basting stitches that was from the bottom. I'm just going to take out these stitches now, being careful not to cut my dress. So now, taking my dress wrong side out, I am going to use my zipper foot, and I have a nice seam right here, and I'm going to open this, and I'm going to take this zipper foot, put the zipper foot on, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to stitch. And as I'm stitching down, I'm going to try to get as close to the zipper teeth as possible. There's this little groove in there, and I'm going to stitch right in there, and then that way I am close to the edge, so that when my dress is zipped up, you should not be able to see the zipper, because it already has a nice fold right here. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to sew all the way down to the bottom, and then starting from the bottom, I'm going to sew all the way up to the top. So now I'm at the machine. I have the zipper foot on. I don't want to get my fingers down in here, so I'm using this stiletto. And what I'm going to do is, as I sew, I want to keep this piece of this part of the presser foot pushed right up against there. So as I'm stitching, I'm using my left hand to hold the teeth open, and I'm using this stiletto to keep this fabric from shifting. Everything. Oh, and I see that I have something under here that got caught. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. And I see that I was stitching too much. I lost my stiletto. There we go. All right, and just like that, it is so easy for me to mess up, because I got this. I'm looking around, trying to look around my camera sideways. So I'm going into here. I'm going to take these stitches out. I'm going to loosen it up here. Not yet. There we go. And so no matter how long you have been sewing, there are always mistakes that could be made. There. And I'm simply going to just start somewhere way up yonder and make sure that filling under here, making sure everything is flat, back stitch. Getting down to the waist here. open up my zipper some more. Right, that's the end. So what I like to do, a lot of people don't do it, is I'm taking my garment out. I'm going to snip close because I do not like wrestling with this zipper. I'm going to zip this up. And then I'm going to go back to stitching this. And here we go. And I'm going to take this out. And then starting from the bottom, back stitch. Okay. And I think I sewed my zipper teeth. This is why I don't sew live, because it's really hard focusing on the camera and what I'm stitching without stuff getting in my way. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Now some people keep the presser, keep the needle in the fabric while, and just move the zipper. I do that, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. I just rather do it this way. Go back. Okay, opening up the zipper. I felt that go off a little bit. I'll check that later. And I always say that there is no prize for speed sewing unless you're in a sewing competition and you're being timed. Then you would want to, I would probably still sew like this. I'm almost at the top. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Gotta watch out for these thread tails. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't want to get my zipper caught. I've done that before, where you just zip, 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 and thread got caught in your zipper. Here's the back. And I can see right here where I kind of stitched off in the beginning when I got that fabric caught underneath there. But once I iron that, those holes will disappear. And then here's the zipper, so when you open it, you can see it, that when it's closed, it disappeared. And so now I'm going to go ahead and take my thread out here, which means I got to open it back up, being careful. Just snip at the bottom, go up the top, and I can pull it out. If I can grab it. And so after I get the zipper done, I'll go ahead and take my inside lining, which is the same fabric, and close it up so that whenever the zipper opens, you're going to see the same nice fabric on the inside as it is on the outside of the back end. Right. Thanks for watching and stay tuned. I'm hoping to give a more detailed workshop on sewing in a zipper sometime this winter. I have so many ideas, but just getting them out. I'm a person that wants to do everything and I can't do everything. So trying to find out what are those important things in addition to fitting that people want to sew. But that is how I put in my invisible zipper. All right, thanks for watching. Loves.